Hey lovely sexy hobby people, welcome to today's video, which is going to be a flick through for Airfix Club Magazine issue number 12. So we got this, but we also had our 2025 calendar, and this is exclusively readers models that people have sent into the magazine. So we'll have a flick through both of those. Come and join me on the desk. Hey lovelies. Right, so let's have a look at Airfix Club Magazine, shall we? It's number 12. I'm assuming this is going to be the last one for the year. We've had 10, 11, 12. Yeah, so that's normally 3 a year. But we get our 2025 calendar with this. So I'll just pop that aside because we'll look at it afterwards. So we have Spitfires on the front, majestic Mark 8s. Okay, so introduction, and we're straight into an article on the hunter that buzzed Tower Bridge. With so many appealing kit options available within our Airfix range, it must be difficult for modelers to decide which one they are going to tackle as their next build project. The stories behind some of the scheme options included with the various kits are just as important and engaging as the kits themselves, giving any project its own personality and helping us build a connection to what are essentially the scale recreation of a moment in history. With that being the case, we wanted to bring Club Magazine readers a new feature where we take a closer look at a particularly interesting scheme option from within the current Airfix range. One which modelers may well have yet to discover, but details which make for the basis of an enjoyable build project. Our new plain facts feature will appear in the majority of future Club Magazine publications, where we will be looking to uncover some interesting scheme gems for those looking for a little build inspiration for a future build project. We will start with a particularly incredible story, and one which makes for a fitting centerpiece for any model display, one man's high profile and completely unauthorized protest against defense cuts and the disrespect in failing to commemorate a significant anniversary for the Royal Air Force. That protest involved an extremely talented pilot, a Hawker Hunter FGA-9 and Tower Bridge in central London. Cool. Haven't read this yet, so I will read it with interest. As the RAF prepared to mark the 50th anniversary of their establishment at the beginning of April 1968, the heroics of the pilots of Battle of Britain may still have been fresh in the minds of the general public. But a further period of financial austerity appeared to be having a very different effect on the government of the day. A continued lack of investment in the Royal Air Force was now beginning to have real impact, with successive government studies all appearing to question the future viability of the force. As missile technology was becoming ever more capable, some ministers were even questioning if manned aircraft would survive the coming decade. Excuse me, I think you're never going to be able to take the human aspect out of warfare. If you were to turn it over completely to either AI, or even just turning it over completely to, for example, drone operation, and we can have drones for aircraft, tanks, boats, submarines, anything really, then I think that we remove a human factor which is necessary in warfare in order to deter or in order to help prevent atrocities being committed by either your own side, because unfortunately it does happen, or the opposite side. Right, it's not just about the models. Models for heroes. So this is the charity. And you can actually, if I understand, you can actually send in your, if you don't collect the flying hours that you get on the side of your model kits, you can actually send them into Models for Heroes so that they can get model kits for basically veterans, essentially, to help them with mental health. The sitting down quietly, you know, having your mind taken off of things to do a model kit, you know, build, paint, that sort of thing, does have a beneficial effect on mental health, especially with veterans. And veterans found that, those with PTSD found that model making helped relax them, helped calm them. Oh, I don't want to say calm them down, but when they were having intrusive thoughts, it helped to take their mind off those thoughts. For me, I've always enjoyed model making. I made models as a kid, and I've enjoyed continuing to make model kits as an adult. I find the time that I spend sat down doing that, just concentrating on the build or the paint, whether it's the scale models that I do or my wargaming stuff, does have a very beneficial effect on my mental health. It does help. I don't think these things can be overlooked. We're delighted to be introducing a new feature to the Club magazine, one which we intend to appear in most future editions, and one which we hope will be a light-hearted and interesting look at the heritage of the Airfix brand, featuring anything interesting connected with Airfix, both past and present. We will be relying heavily on the incredible collection amassed by Andy Kirby, a man who, by his own admission, is a bit of an obsessive collector. Well, that's fair enough. Hawker Typhoon Preservation Group, Sam Worthington Lease, Project Director. There were over 1,200 young men and women who flew the Hawker Typhoon during World War II. 56% of them made the ultimate sacrifice. There is no memorial to them, the thousands of ground crew and support staff who kept the machines operating, nor to those who designed, built, tested and delivered the aircraft. We strongly feel that they deserve one. Okay. Oh, nice artwork here. I'm assuming that's going to be... I mean, is this a representation of the Falaise Gap? Because we've got a tiger and a panther here, so it's later in the war. And it was well known that as the Falaise pocket, you know, compressed onto the Germans, they were absolutely mauled by air power. So yeah, we got quite a big article here on the Typhoon, Hawker Typhoon Preservation Group, and then Typhoon Hawker's Flying Artillery Aircraft. Yeah, it was a beast of a platform. Close-in air support is something which I don't think perhaps ministers, governmental ministers, fully appreciate the impact that close-in air support has on the morale of your troops and the demoralising of enemy troops. Cosford's Catwalk, Jaguars. So, we've got a little spot the difference thing there. Tells you the answers at the bottom anyway. Should have put it on a different page. I digress. So, my Uncle Robin, Robin Green, was a pilot in the RAF. I don't know much about him because my dad didn't really talk about his half-brothers, as it were. He was a bit of a black sheep of the family himself, my dad, going off and joining the army at 17. But yeah, his brother, my uncle Robin Green, was a Jaguar pilot, I understand. The information I had been told was that he was a Jaguar pilot, and in some time around 76, 77, 78, something like that, it may even have been 77, he was involved in a training accident that took his life. I vaguely remember it. I was young at the time. I was probably only maybe 6, 7, maybe 8 years old at the most. But I just remember that my dad went off to the funeral, and that was it. That was all. And his other brother, my uncle Brian. We obviously got to see him a lot, but yeah, we didn't really find out any more. I regret not asking him any more before my dad's death, because it would have been nice to find out exactly what happened and who he was. But yeah, Jaguar pilot from what I understand. Secret Sabre reports for duty. So this is the 148 scale Sabre that what have they done? They've done something. There's nothing quite like an 11th hour breaking news feature addition to the Club magazine, especially if this allows us to bring readers details of its prize new kit addition to the current Airfix range. As we were going to press, Airfix website was being updated with a new product page, the latest in our series of secret model releases, something which has become such a popular feature for the Airfix range over the past couple of years. Reserving the right to make surprise X-Catalogue model releases to the range at any time, Airfix fans know that they could be hearing about an exciting new model unveiling, blah, blah, blah. The subject of our kit attention this time, 148 scale, North American F-86 Canadian Sabre tooling, and for the first time, 2 appealing scheme decal options featuring aircraft in US Air Force colours. Okay, so I think that was it then. I knew that something recent had been released with regards to the F-86. Couldn't remember exactly what it was, because 148 scale isn't really something that... I've got a couple of vehicles in 148 scale, but I don't really go for aircraft in that scale. They do look nice though. I'm loving the red here. Loving the red wingtips and tail on that one. And again, I think I mentioned it maybe in the last Airfix Model World. I think that's probably where I saw the announcement, Airfix Model World magazine. I do love the Sabre. It's one of those kits that I built as a child that seemed to always be available in... It was like the Sabre, a Spitfire, and a Saab Viggen always used to be available in the local newsagents where I came from, and it was always those kits, with a spattering of other stuff every now and again. But it always seemed to be those 3 kits that were always there, and I can remember building, one of each of those in 172 scale. I loved the Viggen, the Saab Viggen. And then there's a nice colour plate there. Got a couple of competitions here. So we got Win Big for the Chinook, the 172 scale Boeing Chinook HC1. Deadline is 31st of January 2025 at 5 PM. This newly tooled kit is up for grabs. Recreate your own distinctive tandem twin rotor helicopter featuring the Bravo November scheme, the impressive Chinook made, blah, 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 blah. Simply enter via airfix.com/club. And then there's also a Bristol Bulldog Mark II 148 scale, and again that's 31st of January 2025 by 5 PM. We have Victory Show prepares for battle. Although I wasn't in a position to attend this year's Victory Show, an impressive World War II focused event held on farmland near the Leicestershire village of Cosby. Yeah, what was it? The War and Peace show that used to be held at the Hop Farm in Paddock Wood? Is that still a thing? I've only ever been to that once. But is it still a thing? Or did it move? I heard it may have moved. And I don't know if it's as big. Operation 24 in 24. The recent Battle of Britain air show held at the historic Duxford Airfield was a real return to form for this popular event and saw large crowds heading to Cambridgeshire on both days of the show. The highlight of each day's display was the Duxford Big Wing massed formation fly past the Spitfires and Hurricanes to commemorate Battle of Britain Day. Cool. That looks like it's a 1/24 scale Spit. That one there. Blackpool Air Show, and then Visit Blackpool Illuminations. This was the kit that was done for this particular commemorative show, I believe. As one of the most popular leisure destinations in the country, Blackpool regularly welcomes millions of visitors to enjoy its many attractions each year, which now for one weekend in August also includes a spectacular seafront air show for us all to enjoy. With a fine weather forecast and a display programme which included the Red Arrows, the Battle of Britain Memorial Flight 2, Avro Lancaster and a spectacular jet-powered aerobatic biplane. Okay. Organisers were expecting hundreds of thousands of people to attend over the 2 days of show weekend. And they weren't disappointed. So anyway, this appealing Spitfire kit is an exclusive release and only available through Visit Blackpool. And then we have some Typhoons, rocket firing Typhoon on the back. So that's the magazine. Let's have a look. Oops, that's gone on the floor. Let's have a look at the club calendar. So this club, so the club magazine does the calendar each year, and it's always, or certainly since I've been getting it, it's always been readers' models. So although it has the builder here, so Richard Ellis, it doesn't always tell you what it is. So I don't know if this is like a Sea Vixen or a Sea Venom or something. Thunderbolt? Oh, I'm honestly not sure. Officer Sea King. And we have our K2 ambulance here for April. Spitfire for May. Jaguar E-Type for June. Ooh, testing me now. No, again, is it? It's not a Corsair, an F4 Corsair, because that has quite a gull wing shape. So I don't know what that would be. I want to say Thunderbolt again, but would they have two Thunderbolts in the same magazine? I mean, obviously that's got wings extended. Let's have a look at the landing gear. No, it's different landing gear. So I have no idea. In the comments, what is it? So that looks like it's a Typhoon or a Tempest, one of the two. Because I always get those two mixed up. Panzerkampfwagen 4 with long barrel. Triceratops. Brilliant. Oh, it's Andy Kirby. Mentioned in the magazine earlier. Triceratops, fabulous. I had, as a kid, I got bought the Stegosaurus kit. Is that an Anson? I want to say that's an Anson. I'm probably wrong. Somebody correct me. Another Spit. Another Sea King. And again, we've got a Lightning there as well. F-35 Lightning. And I don't, again, another, this looks like it might be the same as the one which had the folded wings earlier because of the landing gear. Again, I want to say Thunderbolt, but I could very well be wrong. But yeah, that is, oh, and then we get the fairy, is it the Rotodyne? On the back. But yeah, that was the members calendar. Oh, she's just trying to pick up what she dropped. And then the magazine. So, hope you enjoyed that, and hopefully you'll join me in the next video. Alright, take care. See you soon. Bye-bye.